Nicole Aziza here with Mariama Learning, where we support early learners' needs. Okay, let's get to those goals. Now, when I write goals for an IEP, I like to use the acronym SMART to help guide me to write solid goals. So what does the acronym stand for? S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relevant, and T is for time. Again, SMART. For the sake of this video, Cherie is our young person, and she is 4 years old, and she has difficulty with counting with one-to-one correspondence. That means that she has difficulty with counting and putting her finger on each item as she counts. That's one-to-one correspondence. Okay, so the team has determined that, and I can't stress enough, parents, that you are a member of the team. So Cherie has shown that she's not able to do that. She's 4 again, and she has difficulty with that. So she does have needs. She's not able to do it at home, and she's not able to do it at school. So across environments, she has difficulty with this. And the team has determined that counting to 6 with one-to-one correspondence would be a specific goal for her. But we want to get even more specific with Cherie. So we want to say that when given 6 items, she will count the items to 6 with one-to-one correspondence. And we want to get even more specific with Cherie. We want to say that during math sessions and in the natural environment, example, recess, lunchtime, when given 6 items, Cherie will count the items to 6. So we want to know exactly how we want Cherie to show us that she can do this. We definitely want it during math, but we want it in the natural environment as well. At recess, at lunch, in school, and also parents, you will report when she's doing that at home in the natural environment. We can add that to the goal if that is what the team decides. But I was just giving an example. So that's specific. Measurable, M for measurable, is how many times we want Cherie to show that she can do it. So for the sake of Cherie possibly getting distracted at times, let's see, or the table moves and Cherie is, miscounts because the table moves or someone moves the table, we're going to add 4 out of 5 times instead of 100% of the time, because sometimes we do make errors and then we have to do it again. So during math sessions and in the natural environment, example, recess, lunchtime, when given 6 items, Cherie will count the items to 6, 4 out of 5 times each session. So that's the measurable. Then we have A for achievable. So the team has to determine, is this something that Cherie could achieve within a year? And the team will decide that that is something that she can do within that year's time. Now, if for some reason the team thinks that that may be too easy for Cherie or too difficult for Cherie, that's something that the team would have to discuss, and they would have to modify the goal or make it more difficult for Cherie. So we have specific, S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant. Is this relevant? Is this a relevant goal? Yes. Cherie has difficulty with counting with one-to-one correspondence, and that's something that is a life skill. We need to be able to count items. And then T for time. Again, the IEP lasts a year. So it is time bound. We were putting a time limit on it. We're saying within that year, we want Cherie to master this. Again, I did not mention this, but throughout the year, the team will be collecting data and discussing progress. We will have informal discussions about this, informal meetings without an IEP meeting. But we also will have to renew the IEP. And at that time, we would have reviewed progress. A progress report would have gone home. And we will determine if Cherie has mastered that goal. Cherie could master that in the first quarter of the year. Cherie could master that goal. And so then we would have to decide, if Cherie needs any more goals in the math area. What are her other needs in that area, if she has any? So that's how that would work with time. We are looking for Cherie to master that within the year, but we are collecting data and we are reviewing progress throughout the year. So again, that's S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, and T for time. Let's go back to measurable. M for measurable, because we said that during math sessions and in the natural environment, example, recess, lunchtime, when given 6 items, Cherie will count the items to 6, 4 out of 5 times each session. So we're looking for her to do that 4 out of 5 times within the math session, or 4 out of 5 times at recess, 4 out of 5 times during lunchtime. We could also say, well, Cherie, our math session was cut short today. So Cherie only got to count to 6 2 out of 5 times. She got it correct, but 2 times, because she was only given 2 times. She wasn't given the 5 times. All right. But we were able to do it again in recess and lunchtime, and she was able to do it several times there. So that can count for the time that Cherie did it on that day. But we want to look at that day, the sessions. We want to look at the day. We want to look at the week. And then we want to look at the month, because we want to make sure that, let's say, after breaks, we have breaks. We have the spring break, Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, that Cherie can come back and still master this. We want to make sure that at home, parents, she is doing this consistently. So we're looking at all this data and we're comparing and we're discussing. And so we want to say that she's able to do it 4 out of 5 times each session, but we want her to do that 100% of the time monthly. So that can be in the goal. But lots of times, or at least in the school system that I worked in, there was a part of the IEP in the goals section where you could write that down, where you can document that, and you could put that down there, and you have your goal, and they're going to ask you more about the measurement of that goal, and you can put that down there. So we want 4 out of 5 times each session, but we want it 100% of the time. That 4 out of 5 times, 100% of the time monthly. The team may decide that they may want to put 100% of the time weekly, but I think that I personally like that, because we want to look at that whole month and say, well, how is she doing with that? Is she able to do it consistently 4 out of 5 times for that month? And we want her to do that 100%, that 4 out of 5 times, 100% of the time. All right. So we got through it. S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, T for time. It really helps when you have that as a guide to write solid goals. The other thing I want to say before I leave is that with those goals, we want to have objectives. So we want to have objectives that will lead us to the goal, because most likely Cherie she could master it right away. All right. But most likely, if she has difficulty in this area, then it's going to take a little time for her to master it. So we want to have things that she will do before she gets to the counting to 6. We may have as one objective that she will count to 3 with 1-to-1 correspondence. Again, that needs to be measurable too. We need to determine, do we want that to be 4 out of 5 times? Do we want that to be 3 out of 5 times since she's just getting it? So that's all something that the team will decide together. Lots of times with IEP goals, parents, a teacher will come up with suggested goals, and then she'll send them to you before the IEP meeting. That's what should happen, so that you can look them over and you can say, I agree with this, or I want to tweak this. I think I have an idea about this, or I actually have a goal that I want to suggest. So that's something that you should know, that those goals should come home before. You shouldn't be looking at them for the first time on the day of the IEP, because that's a lot. It's a lot of information coming in, and you need time to process all of that. Okay, so we need about 2 or 3 objectives that lead to that goal. it's really important that you familiarize yourself with this and know what a solid goal should look like so that you can come to the table as a member of the team and know exactly what you want and what for your child and what a solid IEP goal looks like. All right, so that is Koli Aziza with Mariama Learning. That's it. That's me with Mariama Learning, where we support early learners' needs. Until next time, we will discuss our last two parts of the IEP that I think are most important, and that is the supports on the IEP and the services. The supports and the services. Until next time, see you soon, and be well and safe out there. Koli Aziza with Mariama Learning, where we support early learners' needs.